Come on, Jack.
Are we done?
Give us a yippee.
Yippee!
Yeah! Woo! Welcome back to Disco Elysium Part 3. Didn't think we'd do it, but we got more to say. I've got another rant coming straight from Noah here.
The disco movie. This time we're talking all about Chris Pratt and his relationship to Disco Elysium. Some contention there.
It's me, Harry Dubois, and here's my brother Luigi to serve you a whole heap and pile of disco information.
Of course, Harry. I'd love if you could do that for the audience.
We're never going to be able to do anything else besides Disco Elysium.
Oh my god.
I think we said that for Constantine.
I think we said that for
We
Constantine.
did say that for
And to be perfectly honest, I think it was true. We should have just done episode 2 of Constantine, episode 3 of Constantine, episode 4 of Constantine. Once the new year rolls around, we need to do another Constantine.
One day, mark my words, we will do a second Constantine episode.
Hey, what's our Constantine,
Numbers?
No. What's our Constantine anniversary?
Oh, jeez.
It might have passed.
You went past?
It might have. Have we been doing this for over a year?
I don't know. I could look when I posted it.
Yeah.
February 13th.
We're coming up on
We're coming up on it. All
The
right.
day
We gotta
before
do another
Valentine's
Constantine
Day.
episode. We should do like a
That's
Constantine watch party or something.
Oh,
Valentine's Day, Constantine.
Twice in a row for year 2.
Oh, God.
That would be... It wouldn't be that bad, I guess.
I don't think it would get bad until year 3 and past that.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to devote... I love Constantine, don't get me wrong. I don't want to have to devote a whole day to Constantine. Now, there is an animated Constantine on Max.
I was going to say that, too. But then I didn't say it.
I will say it. There's actually, in the same vein, I believe there's 2 Constantine movies.
There's a few.
Really?
And the show.
There's a show?
Yeah.
Do you want to make, February, the second week of February, our Constantine, week each year? We would have to do... We almost should be doing Constantine.
You can't do
do Constantine tonight?
Yeah, we should almost do Constantine instead.
Want to pivot?
Watch Constantine?
You have to do that whole Harry Dubois intro again, but swap it out for a whole plate of Constantine.
No, we could keep this. We're recording right now.
Oh my god.
We could keep the entire decision-making process of where we were going to start an episode, and then 3 minutes into the episode, we decide to do a different one. I think that's perfect. I don't think we could ask for better.
I don't know. I think it's too close. It's too personal. It's too behind the
No.
scenes.
I want it to be that behind the scenes. This is potentially our anniversary episode.
Do you want to?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Let's fucking do
All
it.
right.
Let's
Welcome
audience.
to
Don't worry, we'll still
Constantine. Welcome to our new Constantine episode.
Yeah.
Super Mario Constantine.
Yeah, I want to get one of those 1-Up holy waters, and
we
label the title Super Mario Movie, but it's really Constantine.
Oh, good lord! Wait a second. This is going to be really difficult to figure out because the bit going into the episode was, hey guys, we're doing Disco Elysium 3, despite being named the Mario movie episode. And then partway through, without even discussing the Mario movie, we switch over to Constantine. I love that. Okay, audience. Jokes aside, we are switching up our process for this episode to see how it turns out, which is we're going to be doing our intro like we're doing right now. And then we're going to watch the movie together, which is very different from our usual formula of watch it separate and write our notes and then reconvene. And then we're going to talk about the movie after we watch it together.
Yeah, new process.
Yeah.
New year, new you. New us.
If you want to give the Constantine movie a watch for this, I would pause right now and go pull it up on any sites where you can find it. I probably should have checked that one. Or any sites where... Never mind.
Now, I don't know which one it is now. I think there's a couple. So I don't know what we're watching. Constantine. Blank. There's something else to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 2005
What do you mean?
Constantine.
We're going to be watching... Insert movie title here.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching Constantine and the City of Demons. Hey, Constantine. We're going to be... Oh, yeah.
We'll mention it after we come back.
Wow, I love this pivot. We're here to talk about the Mario movie.
Oh yeah, it was really weird when Mario produced like a picture of his family and gave it to John Constantine. I figured he would probably come back into the story as some kind of MacGuffin.
I did not realize that.
Wild thing is, the spell that Constantine cast in the Mario movie actually made you forget he was in the whole movie. It was a really weird meta choice for them to make.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Well, he had to give up all his love.
Including the audience's love for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he remembers. He remembers that we watched.
It's gonna do numbers.
He's a martyr.
Alright, we can't do bits forever. We're never going to get into this. So,
right.
pivot from the Mario movie to Constantine, City of Demons.
Anniversary episode!
Yeah, anniversary episode.
We've been doing this off and on for a year.
It's been 1 year.
It's been
1 year since Constantine. Something. Constantine again.
City of Angels.
Alright.
Starting off, I don't know why, but it just immediately reminded me. I think it was just, DC animation style was very prominent. So I just wrote The Killing Joke. I don't know why.
Okay, the first thing I want to establish about
much
this...
better than The Killing Joke.
Yeah. First thing I want to establish about this movie, it is a gray movie. Not like morally gray, it is physically gray through the whole thing. The first scene that you look at, it feels like, when they like darken a scene so that you know it's happening in the past, almost like halfway to being a black and white effect. It does that and you think it's doing that because like the scene is happening in the past. But it just does that for the entire movie. The whole movie is like flashback filter gray. It's so weird. It almost makes it feel like foggy for the whole thing, and there's almost like a fuzz to all the outside scenes.
I didn't think it was that
I think if
bad.
you're focusing on what's happening
so
and not
noticeable.
looking at the background, then you don't really notice.
I'd agree.
The color palette is so saturated.
But that might just be because that's the tone of the movie.
Are we going to go through this event by event? Are we going to do a whole breakdown?
I'd be willing.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
We start
Traditional Constantine style.
It starts...
back to the basics.
Yeah. It starts with the cigarette.
It's a movie from 2018.
It's a movie from 2018. So, in looking at this, I recognized Laura Bailey. And I was like, why do I recognize that name? Actually, I should probably look up who she played. I don't want to actually...
While you're looking that up, the fun fact, what's that guy, Matt, who voices Constantine? Plays him in the live-action TV show that came out in 2014 that we haven't watched yet, but we probably will eventually.
Matt Ryan. So, Laura Bailey actually is the healer. I believe the night nurse.
The night nurse.
Asa the healer, yep. And then Matt Ryan, she's also popular for, I know she's on Critical Role, and she's done a lot of other voices and a lot of other things. But, yeah, Matt Ryan, as far as the TV show, he plays John Constantine in the Harley Quinn TV series. DC Showcase, John Constantine, The House of Mystery, which is another Constantine animated film that came out in 2022. He also plays John Constantine in Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. He plays John Constantine in The Flash TV series, only for one episode.
Oh.
The
I didn't even know
Batwoman
Constantine
TV
was in that.
series, one episode. City
Jack,
of
do
Demons.
not give the Flash TV series a shot.
I won't.
Things will happen,
But
that
it's
make
interesting
you
that
want to give
Constantine
it a
did.
shot, but you should.
I'm looking at City of Demons on IMDb, and it says 6 episodes. Was this like a miniseries that they mashed together?
Could have been.
It's possible.
He's John Constantine and Constantine's Demons voice.
Audience, we might need to be back in a moment. There's more City of Demons to go through.
Really quick, he's
Basically,
also in Justice League Dark as Constantine. He's also in Arrow as John Constantine. He's also
Not Arrow.
Yeah, he's also...
Matt
Good
Ryan
Lord, he
just
really did the
is
runs
Constantine.
between, like...
What the fuck is John Con Noir? Because he also plays John Constantine in that.
That sounds amazing.
John Con Noir?
John Con Noir. Alright, which one do you all want to know about first?
We should just
John
keep going.
Con Noir.
We should just keep going.
Hold on. I actually really want to know what John Con Noir is. 2015.
John Con Air.
When Clay animated John Constantine comes to Los Angeles for the premiere of his new show, he quickly finds the rising darkness has put a clutch in the filmmaking process.
At Los Angeles again?
It's claymation.
Oh my god, this sounds perfect.
Bonus episode.
It's 3 minutes.
Bonus episode.
It's 3 minutes.
It's
long.
also like 6 out of 10, which is perfect for a Constantine movie.
He was in fucking Arrow. This guy is. Do you think more John Constantine stuff would be happening without him existing?
Maybe. But for the viewers at home, Arrow sucks, and like if you want to complain, you have to email us, and that's engagement. So don't bother.
It's got all the same people in it. Interesting.
Are all these Constantine movies just a weird make work project for one guy?
Hey, if you're good at one thing, just keep doing that one thing.
The storyline for the TV series is the exact same as the movie we just watched.
Okay.
Description
So it's
wise.
a miniseries. Might have more scenes. The movie might have cut down on stuff or something.
Oh yeah, maybe this was like a supercut and like did the overarching plot line. Interesting. I don't know for sure, but you know, there's only so much Constantine content out there, so eventually we'll have to get through all of it.
Well, not when they make Constantine 2.
Oh, I cannot wait to. It has to happen.
It must happen. It must happen.
I'm sorry. So derailed.
Derail.
So. City of Demons. It starts off with a girl falling through the portal to hell.
You want to get real used to this scene. This is like 8 or 9 times. They reuse the same animation so many times in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
And just when you don't think they're going to use it again, it comes up at the end.
It's like a jump scare.
I'm going to sound like a terrible person for this, but I would love being able to just like trigger that animation in Constantine's mind by just like saying, what was even triggering it? The movie? Can you just say like
it was
Jarl?
just, whenever they mentioned
Newcastle,
they're Gaul.
But we'll get to that.
I'm gonna make it my text tone ringtone.
Hey Constantine, where did you grow up? Oh god, oh god, oh god.
Oh god, oh god. Cigarette.
Okay, yeah, so like first scene is girl falling through the portal. Second scene is Constantine smoking a cigarette while sitting around in like a asylum. I made the joke of like it seems like he's doing a welcome to my world kind of dealio with it. He absolutely like starts to kill some plants with like the magic smoke, and then they start like growing at an absurd rate.
You mean in reference to the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, when he does the thing with the spider. Okay, yeah. See our previous episode.
And Chaz is sitting by him, right? And Chaz is mostly there to like slap him on the wrist and go, no magic. But one of the things that caught me off guard is they gave us a buff Chaz for a couple of scenes here until they age him up.
You said you weren't going to do that magic anymore.
Yeah, it's them. They're both like the same age. They grew up together in this setting.
You also don't know he's Chaz until way later.
Yeah,
in the scene.
well,
No,
yeah, when
they
he says
say
his
Chaz,
name, then
yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, Chaz. But the Constantine is in like a psych ward, and Chaz is there to like help him out.
He's also in the segment.
I'm really sad they aged him up
Because he's wearing normal clothes, and Constantine is wearing like a
Oh, I guess
white
that's
top.
fair.
Yeah.
It felt like they were going to go a himbo route, and then they did a time skip. I will say, I don't know if this was like the original like origin point for Constantine, but they made him like a British punk in his younger days, like a punk rocker in a band alongside Chaz. It was an interesting route to take.
Yeah, I don't think in the comic books that's his original origin, but what was for this movie.
Which is interesting.
They do give him like some sort of like innate resistance to magic.
An innate resistance. They mention there's a scene a little later on that we'll probably go to a little bit more in depth that really like explains their whole backstory. Right now we only see them in the asylum.
They're in the asylum. We know that they're in a band together because they mentioned that for a second.
Yeah, and Constantine's doing like some magic stuff, and the plants are getting more like vivid, and they're growing. Like they start out all dead, and eventually, I think John starts to freak out, even though Chaz is trying to talk him down, and starts running, being like, "No, I can't let it happen again." Chaz narcs on him, and is like, "Security, come help me with this guy." You know what I mean? And then they pin down John Constantine, and
they don't
sedate
just
him.
pin him down. They fucking they suplex this man.
They do, yeah. They suplex him.
Yeah, because of his trauma from whatever happened with this girl in the portal.
Whatever happened.
Yeah, we don't know yet. All we know is this iconic, soon-to-be iconic scene. But later on, they have a little bit more backstory that kind of like fills in them growing up and what happened that got John Constantine to this asylum. And during that, they definitely mention that he's always had like a knack for magic and stuff like that. I was surprised how they treat John Constantine much more like and I don't know if this is how it is in the comics or not, but much more like a Doctor Strange like type of figure, where like he just went and like learned a bunch of stuff, and he even has the sigils that appear and glow before his hands. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know.
Well, he's not Benedict Cucumber Patch.
I mean, he absolutely makes a reference to that.
Yeah, he's a little more magical than in like 2005's Constantine.
How do you feel about that?
I prefer him walking around with a gun, admittedly.
Yeah.
I like it to some extent, but I do kind of like the more like realistic approach.
Oh my god, I just realized, did Chaz
But
have...
Sorry. That would be boring in an animated movie like this, probably.
Yeah. That's fair.
Did Chaz have a gun the whole movie?
I think the tone would have had
Because he pulled a gun out at the end, and it didn't get, like, used once.
He brought it just in case. Just for that scene.
I don't see why not. It seems like something... He seems like a reasonable, responsible adult.
I would have pulled it during the dog scene after they left the car.
Well, you know what happened?
Well, he was driving.
No, after they left the car.
I think what happened is John Constantine was like, we can't just do this willy-nilly. We have to have a plan. And then off-screen, they walked into a gun store and brought Chaz a gun.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I love the idea of Constantine not buying a gun for himself, but going like, Chaz, trust me, you need a gun. or they do this, they did this ahead of time. They set themselves up, like, before they even got on the plane for, like, a... off-screen, like, filling out of the form and, like, requesting the gun to be shipped to, like, the location they're going to in LA, and then, like, 1 week later, they go in, get the gun.
Oh, you think that's one of the episodes?
He doesn't have his concealed carry permit,
You think that's one of the
unfortunately.
episodes in the TV series is, like, Chaz gets a gun. You know?
Wait, actually, wait a second.
What were you going to say?
He is concealed carrying, so if you've got a concealed carry permit, you should be able to get a gun quicker. I'm not sure if that's the case over in Los Angeles stuff.
Here, I want to hear
Edit that out.
No, not that. I want to hear Jack's piece.
I was gonna say, British guy goes to America, goes crazy buying guns.
Oh,
Well, you
you're
can do that
so
now.
right. He wouldn't have his concealed carry permit, so that knocks my theory out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Still can own a gun. And as long as the carry is concealed.
I mean, no. I meant as in, like,
You think John Constantine's worried about the laws? We can just, like, flick someone's forehead and go away.
No, all I'm saying is I'm pretty sure you're allowed to, like, buy a gun and not go through the background check if you've already got your concealed carry, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the background check, I think, would be the limiting factor here.
I don't know. I don't know gun politics. Cutscene, he's walking.
Maybe they did a trip to the gun show.
Just kidding.
Wait, so it picks up after the asylum with and he is Also, I really like the earrings that John Constantine has in the asylum.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a little bit sad he didn't keep them past that.
Well, it's like at least 8 to 10 years later.
Oh, at least
Punk
maybe
Constantine
20.
is gone.
Yeah, maybe 20.
They took away, like, the weird rocker Constantine that we would have all loved, and they gave us, like, normal Constantine in a trench coat.
Well, yeah, he's seen some stuff.
They Constantine
Been
washed
through
him.
some things.
They made Chaz look like, he is, middle-aged, you know what I mean? Father figure. And then John Constantine is, like, more adult-looking?
Well, he's got like the 5 o'clock shadow with the detective outfit.
Way less
He's
wrinkles.
been fighting demons.
He's scrunkly.
Well, he's magical.
What?
He's not that scrunkly.
He's kind of scrunkly.
He's way more scrunkly than 2005. No?
So he's sitting on his bed in
He's got
his
the jawbone, He's
apartment,
got those real, like, the DC
smoking
eyebrows going on.
cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, he wakes up in his apartment.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because when he woke up in his apartment, it shows the ashtray, and there's like a cigarette, like with a quarter of it left, that's like burning. And it's still like burning down, like to the stub. And how long was he asleep for? Like a few minutes? If he like set his cigarette down and then is like,
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how to count that one.
right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I counted it. But
I counted it too.
I assumed he would smoke more than half before laying down. I think he
Yeah.
probably laid down and was like doing one of those like just about to nod off and wakes up.
I don't think we mentioned that we started the cigarette count.
Oh, I think it's implied.
We started
Well-
the cigarette count.
As an ode to when our first Constantine episode.
I didn't even finish with cigarette count on
you
the first.
stopped the cigarette count, as said in the intro of the episode. You stopped the cigarette count because I forgot why.
Because
I
you
think
realized
he
it was a plot
stopped
point.
smoking them as much halfway through, and the same sort of thing happened in this movie too.
I think as soon as you realized it was a plot point, you were like, oh, this is...
That's what
Yeah.
it was. I was like, the movie is intentionally doing this, and I'm hacked for like doing a bit about it.
You felt too compelled to like that was incentivized almost. Okay.
It was part of the character, part of the story.
That's true. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
But yeah, so Constantine gets attacked by little demons that look just like him, but with like little demon faces.
I love these little guys. He's just like punting them across the room. He's slapping them against walls. He's like
He's
throwing them
swatting
at
at
the
'em.
ground, and they just like die on the spot. You do any sort of physical impact to these little fucks, they die immediately.
Like they don't
There's
even
a gazillion of them.
get like tossed into the wall unless he picks one up and throws them. They kind of just explode into viscera as he hits them.
There is zero threat. You could like kill one by just like staring at it meanly, I bet.
But they keep coming. And he says the only way to get rid of them is to put them back inside of himself.
Well, clearly not, because later on a lot of them get killed off.
Well,
I'm pretty sure if he went in there with like a baseball bat, he could probably fix that one in about 10 minutes.
but was it easier
Awesome.
for him in the moment to just like zap them and suck them in?
Wait, I got it. If he was like on a swing set, right? They couldn't do anything without like dying in the process.
John Constantine.
Or a
Just like a
merry-go-round.
grimace and a cigarette.
Just swinging back and forth particularly quick as these things just try to jump him and get demolished.
Fighting his demons.
Yeah, he does some kind of spell that pulls them like inside of him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes his inner demons back into his body.
Takes his inner demons back in.
He mentioned something about someone must have opened some sort of little like gate or personal portal to like let them out while he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I never figured that one out.
Oh, maybe
They
that's
don't
why
really
his
come
cigarette
back to
wasn't. It was still lit. Maybe someone put him to sleep or something without him.
Someone was there.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a clue. It's a calling card.
Someone was smoking his cigarette.
Nergal.
Probably
Maybe.
passed by Chaz on the stairway up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think it was him.
What?
But
I originally thought it was going to be like a weird dream of his. Or like...
Do you think Nergal opened up like his inner demons and left them out just to mess with him? And then later on in the movie, he was just thinking, God, this is such a dumb fucking idea.
Like it was like him tying his shoelaces together while he was asleep.
Yeah.
Well, like, who let them out?
He came in, smoked some of his cigarettes, and then released a bunch of inner demons. And then by the end of the movie, he sees the inner demons again, and he goes like, God, I'm never doing a bit again in my life.
Yep. I definitely said in this moment that he has Doctor Strange powers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean by
Well,
that?
maybe it is supposed to be like that because they do make that joke later on.
They
What joke?
do, but was that self-referential
Oh.
because of how they're treating it? I kind of like the more grounded version of Constantine, where he'll do like the Latin or like say like the stuff, right? And I don't even think it has to be in that context of like, what is it, Catholicism? In the 2005 movie, 2004 movie, 2005 movie?
2005.
2005.
How could you forget?
I don't know.
It's in the title now.
But in that 2005 movie, like he'll be doing those things, but it's not like,
It was
Blowing-
really bold to name 2005's Constantine in 2005. Sorry.
yeah. I didn't hear the end of that.
It was really bold to name it 2005 Constantine in 2005. They were
Yeah.
really certain of the next Constantine.
Yeah.
It was like Doom 2016.
So, I kind of liked it where he's like more grounded, where like he's doing the things and saying the things, but it doesn't make like glowy magic symbols like appear or anything like that. I kind of really liked that more grounded interpretation of like magic or spells or even like ward or any sort of like that stuff. And I think it I don't know. I like where he's like he just has a lot of knowledge in the area, you know what I mean, and can do a lot of things in reference to like occult stuff or supernatural stuff. I just found that like really interesting, and I think it kind of cheapens it a bit to like do like the whole Doctor Strange thing. I could be wrong. Again, I
Well,
haven't really read the comics.
Yeah, I don't know. It is animated, so
I thought it was fine for the movie. I got accustomed to it.
yeah. Because he does do like other like voodoo specifically. I remember.
Yeah.
I think the most Constantine feeling thing they did in this movie was when he made a salt circle, dripped a little blood on it. Was like, all right, I did a magic.
Which also not voodoo, maybe, but like I don't know.
I think voodoo
That
is
just
very
seems-
specific.
Yes.
It's difficult to use it for a.
I think that's just an amalgamation of like occult concepts. You know what I mean? Maybe not even really grounded in anything, but I don't know. Interesting. When he did that calling card for Nergal. I also felt like that was the most supernatural. Like,
What was?
a la the television show, like part of the movie. The salt circle with the blood on it.
Mm.
Well,
I think I go right from the demons to asking who the nightmare nurse is.
Well, he gets approached by Chaz.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, that's right.
And,
Who's just like, help my daughter?
Yeah, it's talking about how his daughter is in trouble and needs Constantine's help.
Oh yeah, they go to a diner, and he spends the whole time just blowing smoke in Jazz's face. I love it.
Yeah, he has like a very grim outlook. And then he's telling Chaz about how, you can't just blame your problems on demons. Like, life just sucks.
Yeah, sometimes shitty things just happen. Not everything's demons. God, Chaz.
Idiot.
Meanwhile,
Idiot.
his daughter, her soul is taken by a demon.
Yeah, it feels really weirdly placed for Constantine.
Yeah, so he goes to the hospital to see Chaz's daughter. His wife is really not a fan of Constantine at all.
He does this, like, weird thing. Oh yeah, the wife tries to stop him from entering the room and tells him that she's giving him just, like, only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes in and he, like, immediately pulls out, like, this psychic knife or whatever.
Yeah, I
He
thought that was
Doctor
cool.
Stranges a knife into existence, tries to, like, open her, like, a la, like, some sort of weird psychic scalpel, and is blocked by some kind of magic. And then a bunch of bugs come out of her mouth, to which I immediately respond, Beelzebub? I was deeply disappointed.
But you mean Balthazar.
Was it Balthazar?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
fuck.
said the same thing before, too.
Yep.
Damn.
I thought you were just mentioning Beelzebub. And, like,
No, I
excited
keep
for
thinking
Beelzebub.
he's named...
And I was like, why is June such
I knew
a
what you meant, but I
Beelzebub
didn't
fan?
correct you at the time.
Oh. Shoot.
Balthazar. From 2005's John Constantine.
Whoops.
He wasn't in the movie. It wasn't him. Just, different bugs.
It almost
Yeah.
seems like, well, okay, so that happens, and then I think John says he needs to call in an expert, right?
He opens the
Well-
door, tells the wife, I'm going to need more than 5 minutes. And she screams at him, but he immediately closes and locks it.
Yeah, she's not okay with...
And then time freezes.
Yeah, he says, I need to call in an expert.
Yeah.
And then time freezes.
Well, time
then
doesn't freeze, but
this,
the
like-
hospital seems to.
Well, yeah, it seems like everything freezes. Except for Chaz and his wife.
For some reason.
Yeah.
This magic nurse shows up.
There's that weird line when they first interact.
Yeah.
She's
so
like,
she comes...
Constantine, you interrupted a threesome between, like, a nymph and something else. And,
Yeah.
It says something about them being better in the sack than him.
And then he replies to her, and you weren't anything to write home to my mom about either. And then she says, nah.
She's like,
She
no,
says
you
we
know
both
it.
know that's not true.
Yeah.
It feels like a weird interaction.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they were going for, but something about specifically bringing up, like... I
Can
don't
you
know.
imagine Constantine like, dear mom, I met a
That's what I'm
really
saying.
nice demon.
Well, she comes out as like this like sexy nurse looking, but you do see that she changes back into some sort of demon form at some point. So it's just a facade, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Shape-shifting?
Shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting. Put that on your bingo card.
Put it on your bingo card.
So yeah, she
We'll
refers
add
to
that to
herself as what was it? The night nurse?
Something like that.
I just something the healer. Hold on.
Well, I thought she said like
I also, yeah, I wrote down night nurse and I just called her night nurse for the rest of it.
yeah.
Asa the healer.
Okay.
She's under some sort of Hippocratic oath to, like, help and do no harm. So she ends up, like, trying to assist with this kid, right? With Trisha.
Yeah. She tries to like dive in to find her soul.
Yeah.
Or she discovers that her soul is not there.
Yeah, she goes, this isn't possession because there's no soul in the body right now.
I thought
There's
she said
nothing to possess.
Yeah, I thought. Oh. I see. Yep. Okay, that makes much more sense.
And then...
Anyway, yeah, keep going.
Then, what does she do? Somehow
She tries to seek out wherever the soul is currently located, and the person that is holding the soul, like, possesses her instead.
Yes.
Right? And that's where we meet the Nasty Man.
Yeah.
Nasty Man. Well, we hear a little bit from Trisha.
Yeah, Trisha says, like, a couple things when they find the soul. And then she goes, like, I'm being held by the Nasty Man. And then the Nasty Man takes over the nurse.
Yeah.
Who instantly knows Constantine. Is like,
yeah,
hi,
he's
John.
like... Well, Constantine asks, who are you? And he goes, like, guess my name. Also, hi, John.
Yeah.
Which feels like a great interaction.
They talk about, mostly, I forget, it just seems to be contentious. He's like, what do you want? Let her go. And he's like, no, make me. And then, like, kind of, like, is there, like, a blast of light or something?
Yeah.
When he, like
yeah.
goes away, and it just emblazes, like, this, address in, like, fire on the window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I definitely wrote, why would the Nasty Man give John Constantine a clue? Address in parentheses.
Well, we find out
because
why.
the
He
demons
needs Constantine.
always give everything away.
And
it's a trap.
Then I have, Chaz is just coming. Because he's like, Chaz is just coming along.
Nice save, Noah. You got it.
But,
We're back.
But he's like, where are you going, John? Like, at the hospital door. And the next clip we see, he's just on the plane with them.
Yeah.
Which
Can I get another take of Chaz coming?
So, the next note I have is, Chaz is just coming. Chaz on plane.
What?
On plane.
None of this makes sense in the movie. I would never write these down as notes, but I love that that's there.
Anyway, at some point, Constantine mentions that there's no happy endings and that there's always a price.
Oh, another thing he mentioned from, like, the previous scene
endings.
that I wasn't able to figure out, he mentioned that, like, he hired the nurse to look over look over Trisha. And, like, I don't know.
I think that was just an explanation for Chaz and his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Renee, yeah.
Alright.
So there
It's
wouldn't...
like, I hired her, you know.
Yeah, don't worry about
I hired her.
it. Alright. I can take that explanation.
So, I
Back
guess...
to the plane.
He's like, John, where are you going? And then it just cuts to a plane, and John Constantine sitting a seat away from Chaz. Did you see that?
I think that's some good framing right there.
There's like a empty seat in between the two.
He's just an island boy.
Yeah,
Well, you need some elbow room.
yeah. You think they bought 3 seats?
They bought 3 plane tickets, and then they get there. He's like, I'm sorry, Chaz. I have to buy, like, the cheapest rental possible. He's a little light on money right now.
I can't imagine they would just get a whole row to themselves on, like, accident.
A flight to L.A.
From, like, London?
Yeah.
They land in LA, they rent a cheap, like, Prius or something.
I think we need to put some emphasis on the no happy endings foreshadowing. Because they really wanted to dig that one in.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of us have in our notes, like, big letters foreshadowing.
Do they,
He says he needs a driver.
No, Chaz says you need a driver.
Oh, yeah, this is on the plane.
I think the funniest interpretation is Constantine drives just fine. Chaz just wants to still feel important.
You need a driver.
Maybe Constantine learned to drive between, like, when Chaz was his sidekick and now.
yeah.
Well,
It's like 5 minutes on the road and you'll wrap yourself around a tree.
It's like, what are you talking about, Chaz? I'm an adult.
when there's that car scene where he pulls up onto the truck and they're both just facing each other,
He
I could
stops
not
just
tell
fine.
who was in the right lane. Like, who... Like,
Constantine was. I think
Yeah.
the truck was going the wrong
It
way.
was
Oh.
weird that they did, like, a game of chicken there, too, but we'll get to that.
but if that was also set character, why?
I think
What
it would
would
have
that
been
serve?
really funny if Constantine just crashed into the semi after it stopped.
Just wakes up in a hospital.
What the fuck, City? I thought you were gonna move out of my way.
Well, also on the plane they set up the always a price to pay.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
All three of us have said that now.
Do they talk about the backstory on the way there, don't they?
They do mention that there's like a coma bug going around. Someone says the word knobhead. I also wrote in that like Constantine knows there's a trap going on. I love that in like all his stories, he just like follows the MacGuffins directly. He just like proceeds through the story like it's a railroaded Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yeah. Chaz mentions like what Noah's saying is like, why would the demon give us the address? And Constantine is like, it's a trap. It's always
Constantine's
a trap.
like, come on, Chaz, it's the next location the DM gave us. We need to go there.
Yeah, I think Chaz is just standing there at one point, like looking at like, I don't know, a stand
Newspaper
or something.
stand,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Constantine just comes up behind him and is like, come on, knobhead. It feels very out of nowhere.
And they keep
Especially since it's like the essential information that like is a through line on the plot. It's talking about the comas.
And also before the backstory, that is also when Chaz gives John the photo. Did somebody else already say
Oh,
that?
the photo.
No.
Yeah. No. We
So I don't
forgot
know
to mention that.
I don't think they had the car yet because I definitely wrote down. Maybe that was different. Yeah, no, they didn't have their car yet, so they must have been.
The photo?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like before they went to the hospital, or was it after?
No, it was after.
Okay.
I think it's after they got to LA, to be honest.
Probably.
Or it's on the way driving to the airport. I think it's after the plane ride, though.
Oh, Constantine, hold up. I've got a story beat.
Anyways.
At some point, he gets a photograph of Chaz's daughter to
Yeah.
give him a reminder of what.
A photograph of
Let's try to
Chaz, his daughter, and his wife.
Right.
Oh, and the backstory was the Asa. Asa?
Is that the nurse's name?
God damn it.
Hey, can we get like one take of you
Asa.
saying the name and just edit it in?
Asa.
Asa.
Asa. Yeah,
Asa.
It's good. I want to sound like a phone, like, recording.
Asa.
Awesome.
Asa. So, that's when Asa is, like, trying to, get information about John Constantine's fucked up backstory.
Oh yeah.
And the wife's like, no, or Chaz's wife is like, no, that's too intense for me to tell. I can't.
And the night nurse is like, well, I'm not asking, and just reads her mind.
What was the location that they were talking about?
Night view, night veil, night,
No.
What location?
night.
The place that it'll happen that they keep bringing up.
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Come on, I've been
Thank you,
saying it.
Jack.
Oh,
Okay, so
The tragedy in Newcastle.
the wife does
Oh,
go,
that's the guy
I
from
cannot
Firefly.
talk about the tragedy of Newcastle. Asa reads her brain forcibly. She's like, no, I'm going to like steal this story from your brain or whatever. And
it's a flashback scene.
Flashback.
We're sucked back into the
we'll
grayer
get
gray.
to the flashback
A
in a
young
moment.
John Constantine.
We'll get to the
Chaz.
flashback in a moment. But after the flashback is done, the wife doesn't remember
We'll
the
flash
flashback
back.
happened. And Asa just goes, it's okay if you don't want to tell me. That's fine. I don't need to know.
She
Hilarious.
also like wipes a tear off the wife's cheek,
Yeah.
but like magically.
Yeah.
It's really weird that this scene happened, right? Because, like,
It's not
obviously
super
they
weird, but
want
it's definitely
they,
weird.
they wanted to do backstory, but like the way it happened makes Asa seem like she's got like some kind of B plot plan,
yeah,
and she absolutely does not. She's just there out
No,
of
I
like,
just think she thinks
good
like,
faith.
well, I'm a demon, I'm better than you, so I'm going to read your mind.
Well, it feels like she's getting that information out of the wife for a purpose or reason, but she's just curious.
Because she
Look,
wants to know.
they're just trying to flesh out Asa as a character, which means instead of that happening, it's just a way to get more backstory on John Constantine. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is where I wrote down the movie's not going to succeed the Bechdel test.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
No.
But, there's something else I was going to say. Want to say about the processing? Yeah, they definitely made it seem like there's some ulterior motive there.
Yeah.
But, that's what I was going to say. If it was a supercut of just like an overarching story from the TV show, there might have been other stuff that wasn't there.
That's fair.
Anyways.
Flashback to the flashback.
I kept thinking Asa was planning on like stealing the body of Trisha, but I was proven wrong there. She was a good person through and through.
Flashback.
Flashback.
John Constantine and Chaz grew up together.
Can we get some
best
John
buds.
Constantines in Chaz?
What?
Like in chat. Sorry, it was just
Oh, no, that's
how.
good.
Come on.
Cut that one. Cut that one.
No, leave it in.
No.
Yeah, they grew up together. There's like a weird scene of like young John Constantine, child John Constantine, and Chaz hanging out. They're on top of a building, and John Constantine's just like walking along a rail, and then like is about to fall, and like Chaz grabs him and like pulls him back onto like the roof of the building. Just kids being kids.
Yeah, and then they're laying together, staring at each other's eyes. And
Well, if you see the scene, it's like they were always with each other. Chaz liked John's brain, and John liked Chaz's heart, or something like that. It felt very, I shipped
They
them.
had quite the bromance going.
Yeah.
yeah, except they're like 10, so.
Yeah. No, they were like rocker punks at the time. They were like early 20s.
No, not when they were laying there staring into each other's
Yeah,
eyes.
they
and
were.
stuff. They were kids.
Were they?
Yeah, that was when they were still kids.
Late teens
Then-
at the youngest, like
No.
19, 18.
No. They were kids.
Well, really,
Pretty
in
sure.
the movie, they're like 40.
But anyways, then they go further. They're both in like a metal band together.
Yep. They got the
And-
music.
They're playing music above this weird guy's,
There was a nightclub they
Magical.
were frequenting.
yeah, okay, that's what it was, yeah.
But they were
And
playing music at.
the guy who owned the nightclub was using it as a front for this like cult he had in the basement.
Yeah, which Constantine was sort of an apprentice of his, or something like that.
And he was using his only daughter as some kind of magical focus. Constantine took exception with that. And
And when he found out, he went down and summoned a bigger demon. There's always
Yeah.
a bigger demon.
His
Always
great
been a
idea
demon.
was to summon a bigger demon to kill this guy,
And this demon was pretty big.
and
this was a pretty big demon.
he couldn't control it.
Pretty big.
Pretty big.
And he did not use a sealing spell, they mentioned specifically, to keep the demon in
Some
control.
might say the biggest demon.
I wouldn't say the biggest demon. I think there's bigger demons. Yeah.
There's probably bigger demons.
This demon had nice lipstick though.
Oh, what? Slipstick?
Lipstick.
Lipstick. Oh, did it?
Anyway.
So the demon... Wait, what'd you say, Jake?
What? Oh, what? Are we doing a podcast here?
Hey Jack, have you played Hotline Miami?
I don't want to repeat what Jack said.
Well, he couldn't control him, he didn't use a sealing spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was
So-
new. He was a newbie magician.
The demon is just murdering everyone in the cult, but then
El
goes
Conjurer.
upstairs, starts murdering everyone in the nightclub.
I'll conjure.
El Conjurer.
He uses a magic power to freeze Chaz and Constantine, takes the nightclub dude's daughter, who they were trying to save, and basically throws her into a portal to hell. And Constantine tried to save her, but he couldn't.
Also, the murder scene was brutal. When the demon was just like rolling through the nightclub, it was just crushing people.
I specifically wrote down Devil May Cry Baby because it had the
Yeah.
same vibes.
Where it's like everybody's stuck in a very enclosed space, and he's
Mhm.
just moving through it like a inferno, basically, just like breaking bodies as he goes.
Yep.
Wild shit.
I have.
Yep. So that's the flashback that they keep showing over and over again of the girl falling down the portal to hell.
I have summoning a bigger demon is very rock and roll.
Not very disco though.
Not
It's
very
metal.
disco.
But not disco.
Very Devilman Crybaby.
By this
I think
time-
you got the right read.
After I have Devilman Crybaby when there's the which we later find out his name is Nergal, is wrecking the people at the nightclub.
Right, that's Nergal.
But my
Nergal.
next note is somewhere around this area is the 4th or 5th time for the falling screaming scene, which we've talked about before. We might not have been mentioning every time it came up, and
It's
only
exhausting to mention every time it comes up.
too late in the film we were like, this is what we should have had the counter for.
Yeah.
Almost as many times as smoking.
These are expected to
Almost.
happen as many times.
It might have happened more times than smoking.
There's a chance it did.
There is a chance.
Because I feel like at least 8 times.
There's a chance it might happen twice during one cigarette.
Oh god,
True.
it might have. They use this
Uh,
scene so much. It is their stand-in. It feels like they wanted to have more scenes where like Constantine is remembering something traumatic, but instead they only like made one that they kept reusing.
Did anybody write down the address for the house?
No.
No, I remember his
No.
anagram though.
Yeah. Constantine and Chaz, they approached the house that they were looking for, the demon gave them address to.
I think it's Enstrom.
Yeah, it's like Enstrom or Enstrom.
Enstrom.
Oh yeah, because there's a T, yeah.
ENS.
It's basically an anagram for monster. And Constantine points that out as they knock on the door.
Ooh, before they get there, I'm pretty sure that's where they get the rental car.
Yeah,
They've had it.
they've had it.
Which,
After they landed.
well, this is the scene. They haven't had it. This is when they get it.
No, they had it. That's how they got to the house.
Well, this is when they're going to the house. The intermittent scene, like they land. He's like, "Come on, dickhead!" Right? We see this whole backstory. They get the rental car,
Right, and
and
they're
this is the
riding
scene
around it.
where John Constantine is like, Chaz is complaining about how small and cramped the car is, and John Constantine goes, "Well, I don't see you reaching into your pockets," and Chaz reaches into his coat side pocket. But instead of producing a photo, this time he produces his extended middle finger.
Yeah.
To John
I think that was pretty
Constantine.
slick.
It was,
yeah,
it was,
it was a good one. Then they both laugh about it.
It was.
I almost forgot about that scene. I'm glad
Yeah.
you mentioned that.
Oh,
It builds character. It makes it feel like even though they're like middle-aged adults and like one's a dad now, they're still just like rocker street punks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they haven't seen each other in at least 10 years. Who knows how long it's actually been.
I don't think there was a ton of like character interaction that felt like really forced, like poorly so, like really
Mhm.
bad. But this was one that genuinely felt you felt the camaraderie in.
Yeah,
I liked it.
they're buddies for life.
So yeah, you're saying monster anagram.
Yeah, then they knock on the door.
I wrote down Antstrom instead of Instrom for my anagram, and I think that would have been better because that would have given us Monstar. Anyway.
They knock on the door. The door opens. There's like a giant pig butler man.
Oh, I love the pig butler. He's only in like 2 scenes, and he's having so much fun in both of them. His first line is like, "Enter freely and of your own free will." I always wanted to say that. And he like wanders off laughing, and like in the next scene, he's like when Chaz and Constantine are like standing in the middle of the room, he like for no reason leans in and just spooks Chaz. It's great.
Yeah, they go into this crazy house. It's got like these
There's bugs flying around.
demonic
It's
like
almost
artworks
it's-
and stuff everywhere.
So over the top.
It's very over the top.
But the pig butler's like, "All right, stay here. I'm gonna go get, the guy." I don't know if he says a name or not.
I don't think so yet.
And John Constantine starts to just go wherever the fuck he wants. And Chaz is like, he told us to wait here. And he's like, yeah, you're going to do that.
Okay, what is even happening in this scene? Because, like, he went to get the guy, and the guy, presumably, did he, like, go to the main room, talk to Chaz, just have Chaz go, oh no, Constantine wandered off, and then he went off to see Constantine? Because we don't see what happens, we just see Constantine go into another room, and the guy shows up to find him there.
I assume the guy just knows.
Just knows where Constantine is?
Constantine is there.
Then why is the pig even going off? I think the pig just wandered off into a different room.
Yeah. He's going.
It might have been deliberate. Like, they know that Constantine's gonna just
show up.
Go.
It really feels like a lot of the stuff between Constantine and demons is just performance.
Yeah.
Well, there is.
It feels like this whole house is performance. It feels like someone is LARPing as a demon.
Well, there is a scene immediately after meeting this guy. So, hold on.
He goes in.
He goes
to the swimming pool room, right?
Yes.
He sees a pool full of viscera.
Just full of corpses, all torn up.
And, it's the Nasty Man. The Nasty Man is all of a sudden just standing there. It's like, hey, John Constantine. I can't remember if it was Brew or Baru, but it's Biru.
Biru?
So probably Baru, but B-E-R-U or something like that.
He's like
Baru.
a big kingpin-looking guy, but he's all sewn together.
Mm-hmm. And John Constantine definitely questions him of being like, why are we going through all this? What's happening? And
How do you don't like my pool, Spider-Man?
But he goes, a man of your nature requires something more theatrical. Like, they literally call that out. He takes him into another room where there's, like, a torture band. Humans are, like, strung up on, like, instruments.
Oh, wait. Before you get to that, he mentions that his pool needs, like, 2 more days for the bodies to liquefy.
Oh, yeah.
So he can take a swim in his pool.
He's a man of his... This feels like the weird shit you start doing in, like, Minecraft or whatever, once you've, like, done everything else, and you just want to throw resources at a project. You're like playing Zomboid, and you go like, yeah, I'm gonna fill up this swimming pool full of bodies or something. Then just like fast forward through time a couple of weeks to see what happens.
God. Next room.
Good
so he
Lord.
takes John Constantine. He's like, walk with me, Spider-Man. And they go to this band room where there's like this torture thing. I definitely know they're like torture band. There's like people strung up to like these instruments. One I specifically know is like in a harp and like being zapped. Mm-hmm. There's another one that's like part of like a drum kit, and these demons are just like hitting.
They're walloping these guys.
They're playing the drums on like people's dead bodies.
All of them, not dead bodies, still living. All the instruments
so.
are made out of living like human bodies.
Well, I thought the drums were like just body parts.
Yeah, I thought I saw them screaming.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
This is
There
the
bats
movie
flying
trying
out
to
of
get
someone's
different
butt.
hell.
Bats flying out of someone's ass.
That is definitely.
I don't know if
happening.
that was a musical instrument or just a party favorite.
It made me
It was
think
like a fog
of.
machine.
Oh, okay.
There's these old like paintings of ideas of hell, and like a lot of them give off similar vibes to this. And the bat ass one just like made me think of a lot of those paintings would have like musical sheet music like written onto people's asses. Here, let me find an example of this. It was like a motif that showed up in a couple of different paintings. Where's my phone?
This was not pre-prepared. This is live. June just knows stuff like this.
Well, while June looks that up, there is also a section of the floor that just has people dancing and other demons like prodding them, forcing them to keep dancing. And someone gets pulled out of dancing and thrown in with their partner, I think, to like this silent film.
The first one,
Like this is zoomed in really close on this one, because that's part of a much bigger picture. But same vibes, right?
Yeah, I have seen similar things, but not music like that.
Art imitates life.
Or imitates art? Wait, what do you mean life?
Oh,
Where are
sorry,
you
life
seeing this in
imitates
life?
art.
Yeah, where are you seeing this in life? That doesn't help you.
So yeah, these two people get grabbed and thrown into like this silent film that is just like a gruesome slasher. They like get stabbed in the neck or something. And this happens a couple of times with different like silent film things. They just get thrown right into the screen and then are part of like a visceral like murder. And there's
only
shot...
one painting? I could have sworn there was more than one that did this.
I'm sorry now.
No, there's a shot. You're good. There's a shot where they cut to Baru and John Constantine, and Constantine's just like smoking a cigarette, staring at the movie, and Baru's just next to him, like looking at John Constantine, just being like, "Are you enjoying it?" It's a very funny scene that feels like out of context, very throwaway, very quick, but ridiculous if you were to pause it on it, just being like, what is this?
Well, it's also awkward because it's just like you're watching the silent movie of them being like tortured, and it's like silent movie style. So like the lady gets stabbed and it has like the black screen with the letters that says like scream, and then the guy gets killed and it's got the letters and it says horrific scream.
Yeah,
They hadn't invented talkies yet. Anyway, there's an interesting animation aspect. I wasn't paying close attention, so I'm not sure if you already mentioned this. That they've got like a 1920s film that's like live action that's playing on the wall before someone gets pushed into it, and then it switches over to animation.
Oh,
so it's got like live action film integrated into the animation.
I did not see that. Interesting.
I noticed.
But
that's why it was unexpected when they threw them into it.
Yeah.
Then Baru's like,
They had some
old
flapjack
Hollywood.
shit going.
Oh, and then it gets very disco.
It gets real disco real quick. Not very disco though.
He's like, perhaps you'd like something more contemporary. And like some like brightly colored lights start going. The whole vibe of like the place changes.
There's a lot of like, I love Hollywood sort of shit going on from Nasty Man right now.
Yeah, the Nasty Man, he just loves the whole LA aspect.
He's
but in
doing-
a twisted demon way.
It feels like this sort of like eyes wide shut, like rich producer shit going on.
Yeah.
In this setting, Epstein has to be a demon.
Yeah.
It also feels like really elaborate and powerful. This man is like on creative mode right now. He just has like weird shit.
Well, he has this one girl come up and start trying to dance with John. And John's like, I don't want to dance. So then he like kind of like forces John to dance with like magic. And then they're all just dancing, they're talking, there's like some exposition that's done, and then the girl that came up to dance with John like throws him into a quote unquote more contemporary film, which is just space. And John like starts to freeze. Well, all the while, Nasty Man's talking to him, or talking at him rather. So he's like starting to freeze. He gets grappled by like tentacle aliens and like eaten, and then is just standing next to the swimming pool with Nasty Man again.
It's weird. Nasty Man is very much going through like theatrical illusions of hell. He is putting Constantine through like some sort of like something that's supposed to phase him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Like, it convinces the viewer that he's powerful, but doesn't convince the viewer that, like, Constantine's been got yet, you know?
Well,
not until you find out how he's, like, storing Trish's soul.
He needs Constantine.
Well, the exposition this whole time is explaining that LA's a really good place to have his own little slice of hell.
Oh, yeah, the movie is saying something about LA.
It's like so many people willing to just give away their souls, sell their souls, you know, it's a good business.
No, he's saying that people have to sell their souls by
Oh.
being in LA.
Ah.
Well,
What
I think he says what Noah says.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Willing to sell their souls. And which I think is very valuable, him being a demon, right? To him, he wants that. He's like, so this is a prime place, you know what I mean, for someone with like an entrepreneurial mindset, and of course, like, is a little ahead of the curve. That being said, I have some competition, and I want you to take care of them, John Constantine. You gotta go kill these other demons, because I quite enjoy my nice little slice of hell that I've made.
His paradise.
Yeah, and you need to make sure that that's secured for me, right? Because I don't want these people hoarding it on. And John's like, fine, and if I do this, you'll give Chaz's daughter back? And he's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And so he's like, fine, I guess. And I think it cuts to Chaz in the car with Constantine, and him kind of like berating him or chiding him for being like, you just decided to work for him? Which I also thought was a little weird.
Wanted to talk about how the Nasty Man is talking about how this is his own little franchise of hell.
Oh.
It's like a fast food chain, and he wants us to have more franchises pop up around L.A.
But specifically his.
Yeah, and that's why he wants all his competition taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
It's just really funny that he describes it that way.
He's bringing hell to the, to the consumer.
You know, at a reasonable rate. He definitely refers to it as a franchise more than once.
Now, this framing gets kind of weird because later on you sort of figure out that he's really only powering this with comatose people.
I'm sure there's some exceptions, but yeah.
Which feels like it's a little bit of deceptive marketing, you know?
Why?
Well, perhaps. How about that? Maybe he's blackmailing a bunch of other people to keep this going, a la John Constantine's the same way. Because that's the reason.
Similar setups.
That's why he brought up the theatrics, because John Constantine was like, you wanted me, so you, like, kidnap Chaz's daughter? And he's like, well, Chaz is the only person you care about, so I knew you'd come, you know? You need the dramatics, you know? Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get to you. So maybe there's a lot of other things going on, but, like, there's a lot of fucking victims that he has that he is doing that to just in order to manipulate people to do his bidding.
Do you think the people he's manipulating are the ones that are relatives of the comatose patients?
Probably.
That makes sense. Do you think he's got a means through which to make people go comatose? It might be a deal with, what's her face?
So, next they're in the car, and we get the pack of demon dogs. I don't know really what else to say about that. There's a really funny scene where they look behind and there's just one dog chasing after them, but it's like moving really fucking fast, and I think it's like kind of goofy looking. Like terrifying if it, was actually happening, but like I think it's very funny.
And then like 20 more demon dogs are following it around a corner.
Yep.
And then Constantine goes from like just eyeing it to like, oh shit, Chaz, we gotta step on it. He's got a metal pipe in the car too.
No, it's a tire iron.
Ah.
Yep. He's like rooting around in the trunk and finds a tire iron.
Yeah, he like starts beating them off of the car with it.
Yeah, they're running up to the car and like kind of clambering onto the back like trunk like glass area of the car, and Constantine just has the tire iron and is just trying to. It's honestly kind of brutal. He just is like smacking them in the face, and like I can't tell if they're like healing immediately or not, but they don't seem to be that
I don't
affected
think so.
by it. This is also where he's Chaz is like, "Are you? Can't you just magic us away or them away?"
Yeah, he's like, "Ooh, I look like Benedict Cumberbatch."
Oh, got him. We're not Marvel.
Benedict bloody Cumberbatch.
Which is also weird because eventually they end up with all the demon dogs on top of the car, them like almost crashing, but half of their car leaning off the side of a cliff.
and then bailing out and having the car and all of the dogs fall below into the like ravine, and then it blows up. And they're standing there, and then a whole nother pack comes around the corner, is coming after them again. And this time, John absolutely magics his way out of it by summoning this like wall of light made by this angel like entity thing.
It's like a giant angel holding a sword.
Hey, we completely
Like puts
forgot.
up like a big wall.
We forgot that Chaz got like teleported onto the roof of a building. I thought that was a pretty funny solution there.
Oh, before they leave the place.
Yeah, Chaz came and got him and did the whole game of chicken with the semi-truck driver.
Well, Chaz came in when they were standing by the pool before they left, and then tried to.
Oh,
rush
that's
the guy
also the
holding his
scene
daughter.
where Nasty Man gets the grippers out, right, Noah?
Who?
Anyway.
So yeah, he rushes in and tries to stab Nasty Man. Nasty Man's just like, boink, teleports him on top of a building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty funny.
And on the way to pick Chaz up from that after he leaves, a semi tries to, play chicken with John, but they also just end up stopping, like, facing each other. And John's, like, leaning out the side of the car, like, flipping off the semi, being like, hey, move it! And then, throughout the movie, you've seen a couple different flashes of, like, people's eyes going, like, blue and then being kind of, like, possessed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another case of that, where, like, that guy in the truck comes to and is like, oh, doesn't know what's happening. And John's just like, oh my god, and, like, drives around and then keeps going.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Then
Also,
he-
Chaz, like, takes a cigarette out of his mouth and throws it away, and he immediately lights another one. I kind of love that.
Oh, that's...
While in the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, the light wall that they put up is not enough to save them. It's only holding them back for a few seconds. And all of a sudden, this guy drives on the side of the wall, but it's like, it's curved on the outside.
The
so
side
it's not
of
even like
the
a
mountain.
cliff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not even like an inside where it's like, you know, keeping that there.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
He's gone speeding through, up the mountain wall, around the
He does
shield
a
that
speed
Constantine
racer.
put up, lands back down, slides, rolls down the window. It's just some dude with a man bun who's like, get in if you want to live. And they're like, oh, who the fuck are you, basically? And
He
he's
goes,
like,
it doesn't matter, do you want to live?
yeah. So they get in the car, they drive away to, where do they go after that? The hospital?
Yeah, the whole time that they're driving, Constantine is, like, asking questions. He goes, like, I can't drive while talking, right? And first and foremost, I think this thing this guy is possessed right now. I think this thing that's possessing just can't drive well in general. But I also think that was like a cop-out to try and like not accidentally have to answer questions from Constantine. It was just like shutting a kid up by being like, yeah, I can't talk while driving, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they get dropped off at the hotel.
Yeah.
Because before they leave Baru, he's like, so will you kill these demons for me? And John's like, I need a good salary and the best hotel. And the guy's like,
it was
alright,
a hotel.
done, leave. So they drop him off at that, and it's like, I'll be in touch. And then you see that he's possessed. Or was possessed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do we got next?
The Guadalupe's bar is what I have next. I don't know.
You did...
Him and Chaz go there.
You did write something about that, because is that where the kid like bumps into like Chaz? Like some kid gets possessed, not Chaz. Some kid gets possessed, like bumps into Constantine. Constantine turns around and is like pissed, like what the fuck? And the kid just points at that place.
Oh yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
So he's being helped by this possession.
Not help. The person is waiting inside the bar and she wants to talk to him.
Yeah. But that's also that's anyone.
Explain.
Like, is that just their favorite person to possess?
No, I think that one's like a corporeal form. Because it's the one that does the shapeshift.
Okay, fair enough. When?
What?
When do they shapeshift?
Well, fucking Constantine.
That's not a physical shapeshift. That's just like a mind melding that can only happen while they're fucking. Okay?
I see.
Or that's my interpretation of it.
All right.
Is that what happened next? Is Guadalupe's?
I think there's one scene in
The
between.
kid tells him to go.
I
up
take it.
there.
Okay, before that, there's 2 days that pass apparently before he goes back to see Baru Nasty Man guy, right? Because I definitely have Guadalupe's after that. But I thought this was funny because I was like, oh, it takes 2 days to liquefy. Because he shows up and he's like, so you haven't done anything for 2 days. What you been doing, John Constantine? And why are you here? And he's swimming.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I didn't realize 2 days went by that fast. Because I was
There
wondering
is one
about that.
scene we're missing. Sorry to be the bearer of missed scenes, but scene between the wife Renee and the nurse, where the nurse is like, "Wow, these creatures keep coming to try and take Trish's body," and also there's like a time limit now.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta solve this before like this bad thing happens to the body. There's also this like line about how once you have a child with someone, you can't really stop loving them, and that is
That sets
going
up
to
the
be
sequel.
setting up a scene further down the line at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of things are setting up that scene.
So then it's the Baru talking to Constantine, being like, "You haven't done anything for 2 days. Why are you here?" He's swimming in his liquefied pool, and John's like, "Well, actually, how do I even know you have Trisha?" And so Nasty Man's like, "Fine, I'll show you," and just like envelops him.
Good choice of word. He envelops John Constantine, and sure enough, Trish is in there, inside his body.
It's like heart almost. Because
Yeah.
it's just like
There's like valves everywhere and
you
stuff.
see those like
It's very much like a Boo kind of thing going on. So he sees that Trish is in there. He says, like, "I'm gonna save you, Trish," and the nurse like shows up because she realizes John Constantine is there, and she tells Constantine like
Trisha's having a physical reaction because she's scared, and her body also follows that.
Mhm.
So she tries the possession thing.
She possesses Trish, shows up next to Trish's soul as like a specter and goes like, "Constantine, the body isn't gonna make it too long. You gotta hurry." And then Nasty Man realizes what's going on and goes like, "Time's up," and spits Constantine back out.
And the nurse breaks
Well,
the window,
She gets thrown against the window.
which
yeah,
I also
the
think
nurse-
is fixed later.
Yeah, the nurse who's like inside the hospital gets like launched.
Maybe they just moved the rooms.
That is kind of funny. I didn't even think about that.
That is pretty funny. There is one line we missed where like Nasty Man's like, "I need to keep you on a time crunch, otherwise you'll probably be just plotting for a way to kill me and take Trish's soul," right? Which shows that like he's not an idiot. He's actually like a pretty smart threat. Until is this the scene where he does what I can only describe as like his dumbest move possible?
Well,
No.
first there's the Guadalupe scene. Before that,
He reveals himself after the like enveloping scene.
oh,
Right.
does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
For
Which really
particularly
seems
no
like
reason.
it hurts his plan. At first I was writing, wow, this guy's really invested into what happened in Newcastle. I hope that doesn't become important. And then it very much does, because 2 seconds later he like peels off his skin and he goes like, "I told you, John Constantine, I go by many names." And then after this point, he is done away with whatever like method acting bit he was doing as Nasty Man.
Like
He
Baru
will not-
Nasty Man.
Yeah,
gone.
he will not be Nasty Man again. From this point on, he like no longer needs that disguise, which
Well,
it's revealed that he's the demon
he's
that
still-
John summoned from earlier.
Yeah, he's Nergal.
yeah.
He does like the theatrics though and stuff because he does that little like puppet show later. But
That is true.
That's
He does
later.
the puppet show, but outside of that, he's like, it's almost like he's a different person. He doesn't do anything nasty anymore.
the puppet show is pretty nasty.
Puppet
he
show's
still
kind of
owns all those
nasty.
franchises.
Does own the
Yeah,
franchise.
he's a franchise owner. He's keeping it going.
Having a good day, Nergal. Every day's a bad day.
So now do they go to Guadalupe's bar?
They do go to Guadalupe's.
Finally.
This is that little kid scene where he bumps into John Constantine. He's like, oh my god. He's like out walking around. And John like turns around and is like really mad. And the kid just points at Guadalupe's.
And then
You can
his
see the
eyes
eyes
shimmer,
flash blue,
and
yeah.
Constantine figures it out.
Mm-hmm.
And as he is, he usually, every time that he's pointing in a direction, he walks there with no regard for traps or anything.
True.
Well, it's always a trap.
It's always a trap.
It's always a trap. It just matters how, I don't know.
Well, you know what the biggest trap is? The mindset. If you're prepared that you're walking into a trap, you know what I mean? Then you got it.
Oh, God.
What?
Nothing. Anyway. So I wrote down
So-
Nasty Man was a really good method actor. In this next scene, someone else describe what's going on in Angela's
He
scene.
sits down. He meets with this woman who says that her name's Angela. And then does he hear like the whispers of the Queen of Angels?
I think so. That
Which
sounds familiar.
he's been hearing that whisper kind of on and off.
I did have that written pretty
And now
early
you
on.
find out that like this is the person behind like the blue flashing eyes and stuff like that.
Because they're in the city of angels and she's the queen.
So she
Yeah.
keeps like touching him, and there's like these flashes of.
She touches him with her toe, and that sparks some sort of flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, then she just takes John Constantine to the back, and for some reason, I don't know why. I think they just wanted John Constantine to like fuck in this movie.
Yeah, I feel like that was the case.
They just fuck in the back room of this Guadalupe.
She says something about how he's like the essence of LA because he's seen every corner of it and he knows all the
No,
nooks
no,
and
no.
crannies.
Wait
I
a
mean,
second,
not
wait a
LA,
second.
LA. London.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
And
she
then she-
wants to be sure that he's like the real John Constantine or something. I don't know. It's just
I
whatever.
don't think.
It's silly, but it's like some sort of like transfer of knowledge, but basically like they do it in the bathroom.
transfer of knowledge.
Whatever.
It's-
Anyways, she
it's-
is the
I think it's funny.
she's
It's
the
weird.
collective of LA, like the I don't even know what
consciousness
like, collective
in
consciousness.
a corporeal form.
Yeah, it's weird. Never heard of anything like that.
Doing all right there now?
Yeah, it's interesting,
It is an interesting concept.
but also, yeah, I don't know. I think the concept of just like the collective consciousness of city, just all of a sudden like possessing you, and having you do its like larger bidding.
You're
right?
acting in the will of the city.
But are you though?
Yeah.
Well, this time, like
The
when she
will-
was transferring knowledge, she was actually like shifting into different forms and stuff.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, so we're calling it transfer of knowledge.
That's true. So it was going through a bunch of different like time periods, and
Yeah.
she was like different people. This is all mid coitus, right? It's just like
Mhm.
overlaid and just like explaining who she is and what she is, I guess, to Constantine. While all
It
this
really
is
feels
happening.
like Constantine's getting nothing out of this. So, like, I'm pretty sure this is just for the audience, which feels a little
He's
odd.
getting knowledge.
Well, he's also transferring knowledge.
Anyways,
Of London.
the
Okay.
knowledge of London.
It's a melding. They have to
a
meld.
melding data transfer.
Yes.
Gotcha. No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then, so what does she wants him to do what exactly?
And
Protect the city?
I think she's the worst written character in this. I gotta be honest.
She also wants these demons dead.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's gonna help him out with that.
Yeah.
For the record,
She doesn't want to see her city destroyed or taken over, corrupted by these presents.
this character does not play a role in the movie. If you removed her, the whole movie would play out exactly the same.
There's absolutely a line that she says that's men and women have come to me.
I've got that written down too.
That I wrote.
That's later in the movie, though, I think.
I think it's post that scene or during that scene. Because I found it.
Oh, yeah, it's during that scene. I wrote it right after High Shivers.
Oh, I shivers.
And the thing is that she talks about the city being like this city of hope that people come to with dreams.
Whoa,
Right.
Does she tell him about the Aztec god of death?
No.
Oh.
He just knows
He
that.
finds the Aztec god of death
Oh, yeah,
on
he just
Wikipedia.
Googles that.
He's
Yeah.
a smart boy. I also have She Showed Him Everything, Jack. Jack quote.
Oh.
I just thought that was funny.
Shut up. Anyways, what happens next?
Okay, so they're sitting, like it cuts to John Constantine and Chaz sitting in their hotel room. And John is like scrolling through like an encyclopedia page about like
Is it spiritualism?
spiritualism. And like
my guy's on Wikipedia.
he's literally going on Wikipedia and Googling spiritualism as John Constantine.
Chaz is like berating him about it. He's like, "You're not gonna just Google your problems or something like that." I don't know.
He doesn't say that because it would make it obvious to the audience that that's exactly what he's doing. But he does something where
Well,
he's
they
like,
show it.
what are we going to do about this? We can't just keep working for the Nasty Man or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got a solution. I've got a way to kill all these demons in one swoop. And he goes like, here's this old like god of death that
Aztec
god of death that like used to be around here, but all of his like followers were killed, and now he's like somehow managed to sustain himself even though all the Aztec gods are gone. Which, by the way,
McClunty Kudley?
Yeah.
is bringing up so many questions about how religion works in the world of Constantine.
I am happy that it is It's not just locked to.
I'm really glad that's
Catholicism.
not just locked into Catholicism. That makes it really weird that like the entire series is so dedicated to like angels and hell and whatnot being like one of the most important aspects of that. Or okay,
I think it's mostly just demons. I think maybe DC or the comics, anything Constantine in general, people just think demons are cool.
okay,
It
We don't read
seems
the
like a
comics,
good
though. We
foil.
don't know.
yeah.
Well, from everything I've seen from John Constantine, that seems to be the through line.
Do different religions that
But they
follow a
do.
monotheistic god all have like an individual version of that god? What about creation myths?
What do you mean?
Well, if every religion has like a creation myth that involves their god, does that mean all the creation myths are wrong?
Probably not.
In what? In real life or in Constantine?
Well, if you take
In real life.
Constantine's understanding of gods and you stretch that out to like all religions having a god to them, right? How do creation myths work then?
But this was a god of death. Which implies other gods.
Yeah.
Non-monotheistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it validates any creation myths.
I guess it doesn't address any creation myths. So,
Mm-hmm. Everything's conjecture until
It's still the DC
absolutely
universe, so
addressed.
however they handle that.
it's fair.
Because, like,
I'm not gonna add more into it.
the
Alright.
Aztec gods only have existed and have power because those people believed in them, so...
Were worshipped, although they can feed off of life force.
Yeah.
Do they come into existence once
I don't-
people start believing them? And also,
Creation myth.
like I said earlier, this means there has to be a Santa Claus in this setting.
I think DC has
Does
Santa.
DC have a Santa Claus?
I feel like
There's
is
like
some
a-
sort of Santa Claus.
There's like a one shot where there's a DC Santa that like has to fight a bunch of like zombies or something. Someone was telling me about it. I feel like it was Jack.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Which is
Santa
why...
Claus from the DC database.
Yep.
The Demon Elf.
There you go.
Wait a second.
You know, Santa's in Chainsaw Man. Did you know that?
What?
Santa's in Chainsaw Man.
That's great. I love systems based on belief. By the account of John Constantine, the historical Santa Claus was actually Agios Nicholas, born in yada yada yada, Turkey. As an adult, Nicholas was appointed the Bishop of Myra. Reputation for miracles, such as resurrecting the dead. Known for his benevolence.
Santa resurrects the dead in the Constantine universe.
His remains were entombed in Myra until the 11th century. Disinterred his remains and shipped them to somewhere in Italy. 2008, John Constantine's 2008, located the skeleton of the Holy Nicholas and arranged to have the remains shipped back to England for use in occult ritual. Even Constantine's shipping shit over to England.
But there's no Santa.
Yeah, there is.
Well, it sounds like it's just the remains of Santa.
Saint Nick.
Oh my god. Constantine snorted some of the ground up bones of Nicholas,
That makes sense.
musing about how it was going to be a white
He's summoning
Christmas.
Santa. Where did we leave off?
The
So-
essence of
Aztec
Santa
god
Claus
death.
proved to be immortal.
So John Constantine in the moment summons like this like version of this Aztec death god, and it makes Chaz uncomfortable, and he's like, "We're gonna use this guy," and
He convinces him first that he's going to let them feed on these other demons and become powerful again.
well, he goes to visit him. I forget where, but somewhere he can feed off of like a lot of corpses of like animals.
Yeah, it's like some sewer in some sort of...
Because apparently gods can die off, but this one has enough faith to still be around, right? And is feeding off the life force of a bunch of dead animals. And yeah, he convinces them to come to a banquet of demons to
Yeah.
restore some of his strength.
So, he tricks the demons. How does he get the demons there?
I forget.
He tells them the same thing.
He does?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember him talking to the demons at all.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't beforehand.
Doesn't
he
he
just
just-
talks to them once they're there. The next
I think
scene-
they show up and they're like, Constantine, you promised us the banquet.
Well, yeah, because the next scene is him smoking a cigarette in the church while Chaz carries in the holy water, and he's like, "Careful with that water, son."
Yeah, Chaz makes a circle of holy water
God,
around the
imagine
church
if
so
Chaz
the demons
dropped-
can't escape.
Imagine if Chaz dropped the holy water, it just fucked the whole plant.
I thought that was going to happen, honestly, but it didn't.
Would he have to reschedule?
I thought so. He's talking to the demons. These demons show up while John's in the church, and Chaz is outside making this ring. And John Constantine seems like he's buying time a little bit, but he like lets it be known that like, well, actually, I'm not being 100% truthful. I actually brought you here for my purposes, not really what I promised you. And these 5 demons are real fucking pissed at him. And then the Aztec Death God is there, and both of them are like freaking out. And Chaz, meanwhile, is doing this like ring around the church, this old dilapidated church with holy water. I thought he was going to run out and not have enough just before he was able to close the
Yeah,
circle.
that's what they made it look like.
But he finished it,
Yeah.
and so everyone was trapped inside. And they kind of just beat the shit out of each other. The god barely wins, but like his entire lower torso is like gone. Lower torso, below the torso.
He's
is just
crawling
gone.
like just his arms,
and he's
like,
like
dying.
Take me back to that pit where I was living, please.
Yeah, it begs Constantine to help him like live because that's what he promised him. Constantine's like, well, I promised I'd help you fight or feed on these demons, and I did. I didn't promise that I was going to save you.
This is part of my plan all along.
So he just had them. He had these two problems take each other out, basically.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. I don't understand the next part. Because he basically just finishes off the Death God.
He kills the god.
Which, why wouldn't you be like, only, but you have to make a deal with me. Like, you owe me pig in the future. Right?
Because I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The god's not going to owe a man anything.
Well, he's real weak right now.
So?
Is there any way to actually, like, contractually bind him?
Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. To be fair, he probably could have solved a lot of problems in this movie with a death god. Like, that is just, like... That is a draw 4 card right there. Just does everything he needed to.
Kind of.
So...
Oh, I just wrote Fire Breath a lot. They like both the
Oh,
demons
yeah.
and the Death God have. The fight
Yeah,
scene
they
is
ended
really
up
cool.
It
both
was a
having
pretty cool
fun.
fight scene.
Yeah, it was good.
I like how the Death God just kept getting the shit beaten out of him and getting back up and killing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every couple of minutes, like, the Death God would look like he has been killed. And then the demons would go over to attack Constantine. Constantine was just, like, very nonchalant about it. He was getting, like, picked up by a demon, and the demon would, like, threaten to kill him, and the Death God would come back over, kill that demon. Another demon would, like, briefly stun the Death God or whatever, go over to kill Constantine. Same thing would happen.
After the fight, he goes back to the house where Nergal is.
Perhaps.
And tells him that, the deed is done. But then, what's her name? Angela is also there.
It just occurred to me that Viscera pool never comes back again after he, like, comes out of the suit, right? Like, that was just part of the
We never visited
Nasty
it
Man
It doesn't
LARP.
come up.
Yeah, R.I.P. Nasty Man. You're really
Yeah.
missing him, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Nergal swims in it.
Maybe?
We don't see. We
We
don't
don't see.
visit.
Well, he really liked the pool until he stopped the whole Nasty Man act.
Wait, is the next scene the scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Angela, it's revealed that Angela's working with Nergal now.
It means nothing, ultimately.
Well, I do think it's an interesting, like, reveal, and at least the exposition of her being like, look, if any of them got into a fight, it would cause, like, a lot of havoc in my city, and, one demon running, like, a controlled franchise, hell franchise, is, like, better than what would happen if they were allowed to do whatever they want and fight with each other. So we're choosing the lesser of a few evils here.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been working together all the whole time. And then Chaz is really upset because he's like, "Well, get my daughter back," and they just don't.
Yeah,
They don't even acknowledge it at that point.
There's no, like, loophole or anything.
They're
Nergal just
straight
goes
up
like,
wrong.
thanks for doing that, nerd.
Yeah, it's just like, nah.
Goodbye. Get out of here. I might have some more work for you. Constantine, see me in my office.
Yeah, you done, good boy.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Then, they just leave.
Yeah, Chaz gets upset at Constantine,
And-
tells him off.
That's when they talk about having a plan.
No,
No.
he
was
Chaz
drinking.
tells off Constantine. Is like, you know what? It is your fault. He's like, runs
Everyone-
off. And then Constantine goes back to the hotel bar. and
Oh, yeah. He starts making a muck, or a wreck, or whatever
A
you want
muck.
to call it.
a
He's drunk.
mockery.
He grabs the waitress's arm, pulls her back. He's like, "Give me another drink." And they're
Go
like,
get
"We're not
me a
serving you."
pest.
a pest,
He's being an asshole.
Yeah.
an asshole.
So he gets kicked out of the bar, and then he ultimately goes to jail, and Chaz has bailed him out. Or comes and bails him out.
And he's like, "Hey, Chaz, how did you find me?" And Chaz is like, "Come on, I've been here before. We've been through this before." Honestly, every like buddy cop movie has this like scene where the two like have a falling out, right? And this was like the quickest like falling out to back together turnover I've seen in a movie.
Yep, Chaz needed to go take a walk.
He just needed to take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And Constantine just needed to get some drinks.
So they're like, we gotta fight this. And Constantine's like, wait, we need a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that summoning salt scene.
Right, where were we? All right, they go to the hospital. They like do some kind of like Jedi mind trick on a hospital worker to get the doors open with her key card.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go into the room where like all the comatose patients that were mentioned in that like newspaper briefly are at, right? And they are going to perform some kind of ritual in here. Constantine tells Chaz to wait outside the door, and he tells Chaz if anyone comes along, deck them, right?
Deck him.
Yeah,
Deck 'em.
deck 'em.
That's all. Oh, he starts creating a circle out of salt. He puts some of his blood in the circle, and it creates this like weird force field effect, and somehow disables the connection between Nasty Man, between Nergal, and all of the like souls they collected from the comatose patients, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, Nergal shows up, tears through the wall. He is having a bad time. He's going like, I was about to go to a meeting where I was gonna like talk about producing like a theatrical performance, a musical about like this idiot, dumbass, stupid occultist that like had the soul of like his best friend's daughter taken away and then couldn't save her. It was gonna be perfect. It was gonna be like the best musical ever. John Constantine. I bet you'd love it.
Well, then he ended up like...
But there's like a little puppet show.
Yeah, he's showing like a
Right.
puppet show while he's talking about it.
But then, like, yeah, the puppet starts getting beat up and killed.
Yeah, it shows like a puppet of Nasty Man beating the shit out of a puppet of Constantine.
It's just a threat, but a very
Um,
fun,
Yeah,
theatrical way to do a threat.
I love him. He's great. He's got some pizzazz to him.
So what? Constantine says something about unleashing the demons into the city.
Yeah, Constantine goes, "Hey, I know that you love this city because it's cozy and it means that you've got like constant access to like people that are willing to sell their souls and shit. And it's somewhere where you can do the whole producer shtick. You love this place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like open the gates of hell here and summon a bunch of demons into Los Angeles. It's going to ruin this city. You're not going to have your nice little slice of paradise anymore."
Which seems against his morality to do. Like, even as a threat. I don't know.
They start to show like the street, like the ground opening up and some demons starting to crawl out. Nergal looks scared.
Also, while that's happening, he gets a little afraid of it. John's little mini-me demons start crawling out of the woodwork.
yeah.
Oh, and Chaz shows up
Yeah.
and pulls out his gun.
So earlier, when there was that whole scene with Angela at the Guadalupe, she has a throwaway line, or at least I thought at the time, of being like, "John, you need to have fight these demons that I want you to kill with your personal demons." You know, makes a reference to those from the front of the movie. So I think John takes a clue there and takes it very literally and summons those again and just has them attack Nergal while he's threatening to destroy LA. And then, yeah, Chaz is there with a gun, I guess.
Are those little demons doing anything?
No,
Not
they were
really.
annoying him.
Nergal just seems to be like, they're doing about as well as you'd expect. them
It
to
was
do
more
against him.
annoying than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
But they make him promise to give back Trish, the Jazz's daughter.
Yeah.
He's like, just close it and I'll do it.
So then they close it, which obviously, you know he's not going to do it.
He goes, haha, you idiot. I've done this a second time now. Of course I'm not going to do it. I'm not contractually obligated or anything.
There's another scream scene.
Another scream scene. The last one of the movie, finally.
Is
The
it
girl falling down the portal.
Is it the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one marks, I think, 9.
But, Nergal, like, does, like, that little vein, like, whip, or, like, vine thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like fighting Chaz, and Constantine comes
Yeah.
out of his protection circle to help Chaz.
Yeah, he, like, grabs Chaz up and squeezing him. And Constantine is like,
He's squeezing him.
you said you'd sacrifice anything to save her, didn't you? And he's like, yes. And he's like, are you sure? Like, you need to be sure about this. And he's like, yes, I'd sacrifice anything. And Constantine starts doing a spell.
Yep.
And I don't remember if he says anything else, really.
Other than making him be like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
That's it, and it has an effect on Nergal.
Now the spell uses the love of Chaz and Renee for Trish to burn Nergal alive into a crisp,
Yeah.
which releases the soul and allows the soul to return back to the body. And this is how they beat Nergal. Now the funny thing is, they could have done this from the start, but the reason they don't want to is it's got a pretty hefty price.
Well, I think another interesting thing is during this scene, Nergal's like, "What is happening to me?" And John Constantine, just so happens to be able to deliver exposition to this demon and the audience at the same time. But in figuring out what's happening, Nergal tries to bargain with Constantine.
Right.
And being like, I can get you that girl you lost back when you first summoned me. I think that's what it is, right?
The one they keep seeing in the portal, yeah.
Yep, the scream scene.
Oh,
The
yeah,
one that
yeah.
he's like got
He's like-
Vietnam flashbacks about losing.
Yep. And then Constantine's like, fuck off, mate. And then they keep going through with it, and yeah, burns right to a crisp. And I really thought the next scene had me questioning if they had accomplished what was promised, especially given the gravity of the "Are you sure you'll sacrifice anything for the
Yeah.
situation?"
I thought Chaz was gonna die.
I thought so too.
I thought Renee was gonna die because the nurse forced Renee's hand against Trish.
Oh yeah. Well, to make that happen.
Yeah.
But when the demon burns away, there is just Trisha, but like Force Ghost, just kind of floating
Yeah.
there.
Like
So then I thought-
like a collectible in a
Then I thought
old
Trish was
game.
dead.
That's what I thought.
But that was just her spirit going back.
I had to, in real time, realize I was like, okay, that's her soul, because it was just...
All
Okay,
three of us were going through this process of being like, okay, so what was taken? What was
Because
the cost
there has to be a catch.
Yeah,
Like,
there
we gotta
has to be
figure
a
it out.
catch.
I thought the catch was
And then,
Trisha,
Yeah.
but I was wrong.
no. Next scene is Chaz and Constantine in the diner. And what do they... Does Constantine bring that up right away?
No, Chaz goes to call Renee. He's like, are you sure she's good? Like, she's alright? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, I better call Renee then. He's like, stops him.
Yeah, I
goes,
thought that
"You
was
might
kind of
not-
weird
not
that they
want
would have
to."
not seen each other directly after that.
Yeah, the pacing of that scene was a little
Well,
off.
Yeah.
He wanted to buy him lunch before breaking the news.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like, you saved her, so why are you not directly going to her now? Like, right afterwards. It's weird that they were just at a diner.
Oh no, I thought you meant it was weird that Chaz wasn't forgetting Constantine until it was mentioned to him that you're supposed to forget Constantine.
I think that was weird, but I'm
That's just-
willing to suspend my disbelief.
Yeah, that's about how I came out of it.
Yeah, Constantine explains to
that's
Chaz that
most of this
everything always
Yeah.
has a cost. And,
Well, with this specific spell, especially because it's a curse.
yeah, it's a curse that he did. And so, what he sacrificed was the love and memory of his daughter and his wife. So it's as if like it was a one night stand and he had never been in there for him, and she doesn't remember him. His daughter will never know who her father is. It's pretty fucked up. And then he goes on to explain that
He gets really mad at that.
yeah, he gets really mad at that. Then Constantine tells him that he needed extra power to take out that demon, so it went further than that to where
He also got rid of their bromance.
yeah, their bromance is over. Chaz will lose all of his memories of Constantine and not even know who he is.
Well, he'll remember that John Constantine is an asshole.
Oh,
he
yeah.
used to know.
That's all he'll remember about him.
Yep.
And
Just most of their childhood stuff and like his name, I guess.
It really feels
Yeah.
like, yeah.
it's pretty sad.
And in the middle of that, he's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "John." And then Chaz goes, "Well, fuck you, John." He's like, all right, Chaz, goodbye." And he like
Yeah.
walks out the diner and then starts angrily smoking a cigarette while like.
Oh
she
yeah,
glances
Chaz's
back.
cigarette count goes up to 1.
Yeah.
Constantine's cigarette count is at 10. Catch the fuck up, Chaz. Anyway,
Then there's like a thing with the
Innocent
consciousness
teases with the
of
cigarettes.
LA. The Angela's like talks about how she'll take care of him and he'll be a part of that city
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, she comes in as this like old dude and sits down with
Oh, yeah.
Constantine.
she like leans over and gives Constantine a kiss on the cheek.
But she's in like a Morgan Freeman type form.
Yeah. And Constantine is visibly really uncomfortable, and it's the only time in the whole movie where he like gives off that like grimace.
And he goes like, "Whoa, I'm not
Yeah.
into like old and wizened type."
Mm-hmm. It's weird that it's that it takes to break Constantine's stoicism. Anyway,
I mean,
then
he
the
has
picture scene
romance with
happens.
this
Oh yeah, the
Asa
picture
demon
scene.
person. So like, you think? Oh wait, what?
The fucking
picture.
picture happens.
Oh yeah, I don't know. See, that's such a weird interpretation of it. I thought it just altered people's understandings of their relationships,
Mhm.
not necessarily relationships themselves.
He holds up the picture of Chaz and his family, and the daughter and the wife slowly fade off the picture, so it's just Chaz.
Mhm.
Hmm. And end scene.
You'd expect it to be the other way around, right? Where the daughter and the wife stay on the picture and Chaz fades away because they forgot Chaz.
I thought they were all just gonna fade away. Because him and
Well,
Constantine...
he still remembers Chaz.
They all die.
This spell is like, why couldn't he both like use up the love between the wife and the daughter, and Chaz, and the other way around? Because it goes in one direction twice, right? Because Chaz didn't lose memory of the two of them, so there was still some love he could have eked out of that relationship.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Well, I think he would have. It was just a one-night stand. He never would have even known he had a daughter.
it wasn't to Chaz. Chaz
No.
still
Yeah, it
remembers
was.
all of that.
No, Chaz.
Chaz still
forget.
remembers his wife
No.
because he goes to call.
He forgot
No.
that too.
Oh.
It's as if it was a one-night stand. And he
Wait,
never...
no, Constantine will remember Chaz because he was exploring the whole
Constantine
thing
will
with
remember
Chaz.
everything
Yes.
because he has to live in a state of suffering and regret.
That
No,
might
no, no,
also be
because
part of
that's
the
how the
spell.
spell works.
No, he might. Well, the spell was, he was like, "Chaz, whoa, don't call your wife just yet, because they'll have forgotten about you. And unfortunately, you're gonna be forgetting about that."
No, I think Chaz still remembers his wife and kid. I think it was one way.
No. No, we could pull a scene
Jamie,
back
let's
up.
pull that scene up.
Well, Jack would have to run it again.
That's fair.
I'm with you, Jack. I think it's like, because he didn't try and call his wife. He tried to call his wife, and John stopped him and then explained
Mm-hmm.
all
Yeah,
of it.
because if he remembered her, he would have like left and called right away. Instead, he just started wandering aimlessly outside.
That's true.
Just lit a cigarette, and was just standing there on the street.
I wonder if there's anything the demon could have done to stop them from doing the spell if he knew about the spell.
I don't think so.
Well, if
Been
you
more theatrical.
think he wouldn't have been able to stop it, one thing Constantine could do is just like keep his finger on the trigger for it and be like, "All right, fine, Mr. Demon, let's do this. Bring the little girl back," and then done the spell immediately after.
That's what I assumed was just like give the daughter back, and then it doesn't have to happen.
If Constantine didn't want to do it, though. He only did it because he had to. Because he could have done it. That's one thing Chad was mad about. He's like, you could have done that the whole time.
Imagine how funny it would have been if, like, the moment the demon decided to mess with Constantine, he just, like, fixed it from the hospital room. After he figured it out, if he didn't care about Chaz as much as he does, he could have just been staying there and been like, "Wow, that's really fucked up. Nope, you're out of here. Burn in hell. Power of love, motherfucker."
So, good movie.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I had a good time.
It.
I don't know if I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
I would. If you like Constantine.
I mean, yeah,
fair.
if you like Constantine, there's not a whole lot to choose from.
If
so.
you're listening to this podcast, you like Constantine, obviously.
If you
Yeah,
listen to
this is the Constantine podcast, right?
But as far as like animated movies and stuff, I'd give it like a pretty high number because I've seen some bad ones. I think like overall is good.
I thought I don't know specifically with this movie. I am nervous to watch the live action TV show, and I am nervous to engage with those stuff. Maybe he excels more in acting, but like in voice acting, I thought he was pretty mid.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think it took me out all the time, but every once in a while I'd just be sitting there going like,
You just didn't like his accent.
it's just one note. No, it's not that I didn't like his accent. I kept hearing like a touch of Irish. I thought I could be really fucked up for that and like wrong, but like every now and again,
What a bigot.
that's nothing to it. I just kept.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't care one way or
Different.
another.
I mean, I don't know where he's from, but different parts of that area have different accents.
I just
Definitely seems kind of Gaelic.
he was very one note, which I guess is a John Constantine thing, but like throughout that, I would have liked to see
I
a little
think
bit.
they did a good job of making him an asshole.
I feel like it was just like the perfect. I don't know. It was Constantine,
Yeah.
and that guy's played
It was
Constantine
Constantine.
enough to where
Yeah,
he is Constantine basically. I'm excited to like one day watch this show.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch more of those.
I'm interested.
And you'll hear our review of that show next anniversary.
Next anniversary.
At least. Not before?
At least. Wait, how long are you planning on waiting?
What do you mean?
At least would
At
imply
least.
at least a year or more.
Oh,
You mean at most?
at most.
At most.
They'll be at
On
most.
our 1 month since 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm glad we got to do a Constantine.
Yeah, I am too.
Wow.
I think that was pretty good. Anyway, tune in
Happy
next time for the Mario movie
Podiversary.
again.
Are we gonna rate it? Do we want to do a rating?
Oh, fuck.
We don't have to.
8 out of 10.
I think it's a solid, 8 or 7 out of 10. Wait, no, I think the story was a little bit of a mess. Like, the person
6.
that was the city, completely disconnected from it. I really wish they did, a demon loophole, because once, a demon can just, go back on its agreement, you ruin, some of the conceit of doing, demon-based stories, of doing deals with devils,
That
when
is
there's
true.
just a guy. I
7
think
out
the
of
story
10.
had some massive problems.
I would have.
Demons don't usually lie. They usually will
I'm
be
fine with-
dishonest in a way. Like, they'll tell you...
They just
you
don't
know, like-
straight up lie. They just
Yeah, because...
manipulate you.
Yeah.
I'm fine with a demon just lying, but what I don't like is that the whole story was built around this deal between Constantine and the demon, and they didn't spend any screen time at all. Basically, on they didn't give an explanation or anything. They didn't even acknowledge they just lied. Constantine just went I don't think we're getting Trish's soul back. For some reason, there wasn't anything that implied they should say that. He hadn't even heard that they weren't getting the soul back yet.
Because he's such a Debbie Downer, though.
From where?
He just
So that
realized
makes-
partway through, unrelated dialogue, "Hey, Chaz, I hate to break this to you, but I just realized I don't think we're getting that soul back."
Because he constantly says, things don't work out. Life sucks.
Yeah, but there was nothing that happened to imply that yet. Maybe they were going to get the soul back, and then he said that, and that made the demon realize he could just lie there.
Maybe.
I don't know. So that's my two main problems. I feel like I could come up with more if I watched the movie a second time. I feel like I enjoyed it just because the like vibes of the movie are pretty good. I like the whole connection that they had between Chaz and Constantine.
There's some pretty good fight scenes.
There's some good fights.
I
But
wouldn't say it's the choreography, but there was some interesting stuff that was done throughout it too, animation-wise, like the projection of the live-action films onto it. I think the fire breath was like
I really like the
a really
house and all
cool
the
aspect.
decorations in the house.
Was a
I
good one.
think the house was the best scene, and the rest of the movie was not able to keep that energy going.
They
Because
weren't-
it was genuinely like uncomfy at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't super consistent with how they animated like blood spatter or like gore like stuff, but I never thought it was like bad. Always like interesting to like I guess look at, engage with.
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
I remember specifically there was like a layout over.
I recommend, if you like Constantine, watch it.
Also, does anyone else think that like the flashback scene doesn't feel like it was designed to be a flashback? It feels like it was designed to be the intro.
Which flashback?
The one
No.
when Renee is explaining the past. Because the movie starts in the asylum, which feels
Yeah,
like
because
there's a
they wanna-
follow-up.
They want to create a mystery with the girl
Yeah.
falling
Mm.
down the portal. Like, why is that happening? Who's that? Like, what?
Who was haunting?
Why
John
does Constantine feel so bad about it? That's what
fair,
they were
I
saying.
suppose.
Did they do that in the 2005 Down to Constantine?
There were a
2005?
couple of flashbacks in that one.
Yeah, but what's it start on?
It
It
starts.
starts in
on
the
the knife
hospital
thing.
with what's-her-face committing
Yeah,
suicide,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Yeah.
So they're opposite. Same thing, but not with John.
Yeah.
Come on,
His
Resident John,
backstory comes up.
2005 John Constantine, academic.
Academic.
Yeah.
I'm nearly a Constantine enjoyer.
Constantine enthusiast.
I would give it a 6. It's not a 5. I know we rate a lot of things that average out to like a 6, but I think this is very deserving of that.
I like the idea of it averaging to like a 7 or somewhere between a 6 or a 7. So I'm going to put it on a 7.
Okay. What'd you say, Jack?
I'm putting it back at 8.
Back at 8. All right, that puts us at a 7.
Is that what that does? Yeah.
I think. I'm bad at math. Write in if I'm bad
I
at
don't
math.
know. We did the same thing with the Constantine movie, 2005 Constantine. We don't need to do the math.
Yeah, it's 7. It's
Yeah.
definitely 7.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for listening to Rogue's Nerdery. What is
I'm
that?
Noah.
I'm June.
And I'm Jack.
Yay!
And
Thanks for listening.
cut.
Oh wait, we
Pop
gotta
the
plug. No, we gotta.
champagne.
Hold on, we gotta plug stuff.
Go ahead.
All right. So before we go, we have a Patreon, $5. There are some promises I think we've made at this point as far as content to like put on it, but we don't really know the interest yet. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe we should have some other. We'll figure that out.
Well,
We also have
let us know.
let us
Email
know.
us, Instagram us. I don't know. Whatever.
Email.
Let us know on the if you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a response.
Oh yeah, I forgot you could do that. We've gotten a few of those already. Fortnite, really hot right now. We should do that.
You know, if we get a couple people on Patreon, I would be willing to do like a
Some
fortnight.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Did we promise to do it for an anniversary?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Who
feel like we
knows?
had something we were promised for an
We
anniversary.
promised a lot of stuff, but who cares?
All right,
I
from
do.
now on, we'll keep better track of it.
We
Well-
should get a board up in here.
Hey, remind us if we promised something and didn't follow through on it. But yeah, Rogues Nerdery is the email. Same on Instagram, just Rogues Nerdery, I believe. And Patreon.
Tell your
Yeah.
friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
And, yeah. We'll see you next time.
See ya.